Hello. It's a first alert weather day due to a winter storm bringing in wintry conditions.
Mic check. Am I doing a mic check? Okay.
Thank you so much for joining us for this WECT special live stream. It is a first alert weather day due to that winter storm bringing in some of the coldest temperatures of the season and snowfall right here in southeastern North Carolina. So it's safe to say it's going to be an impactful wintry weekend. I know lots of people still have questions with the forecast, and if you do have questions, make sure to send them in. You can do so on Facebook, but I do want to show you what the radar shows right now. I know earlier today areas like Columbus and Bladen counties did see a few flurries moving in, and now we're seeing most of that flurry activity in Pender County, even offshore, and we're eventually going to see more widespread snow activity as the day carries on. That low pressure system still developing off our coast is expected to drop the pressure rapidly. So again, if you are sensitive to the pressure change, really make sure to drink lots of water today, and also maybe have the Tylenol and ibuprofen with you, because we are going to see that drop in pressure. As for where the most snowfall is right now, still well off to our west. Our friends in the mountain region of North Carolina have been experiencing snowfall all morning long. Eventually, that snow will be widespread here in the Cape Fear region, taking you hour by hour through some of the latest model runs. Will start around noon, where we're likely going to see patchy snow showers here in the Cape Fear. The biggest takeaway with this model is just to show that our snow chances will increase as we go throughout the rest of today. Now, still lots of questions in play about where exactly we could potentially see some dry air mixing in. If you do see drier portions of the day, you could potentially see lower snow totals. However, as we go into tonight, we're going to see widespread snow showers, and that's when the heaviest snow is expected to fall. So we could potentially see some of those tallies pick up as the night progresses, and that system moves in and out fairly quickly. We'll see drier skies for our Sunday. As for snowfall totals, yes, we still are uncertain of those exact tallies. Still seeing lots of, differences with some of those outcomes with several different models. We have the GFS still leaning into some of those higher snow tallies, and our in-house model is doing the same thing. While the European model is trending on some of those lower snowfall tallies between 2 to 4, even 5 inches of snow. While the GFS and our in-house model, those are seeing some of those higher tallies. So again, wide range of outcomes here. We're really not going to know until we wake up tomorrow morning, but I still want to give you some perspective of how much snowfall we're talking here. And we're talking about 2 to 6 inches of snow with locally higher totals possible. And that's mainly due to some of those areas seeing more moisture and those heavier snow bands. So you could potentially wake up tomorrow morning with more than 6 inches of snow. So again, snowfall tallies still remain uncertain, but the thing that has pretty much been a slam dunk all of this forecast has been the extreme cold weather. And an extreme cold warning is going to be going into effect tonight at 6 o'clock, lasting until 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Those overnight lows are going to be in the teens and even challenging record low temperatures, and these are long-standing records as well. So it is going to be quite frigid for tonight. Check out those wind chill values near 0 degrees for tonight, and then in the single digits for our Sunday night as well. So very cold temperatures on the way. We're talking about the 4 P's: people, pets, plants, and pipes. If you have not taken any cold weather preparations, make sure to do so now, especially as we have limited snowfall on the radar, because things are going to pick up as the day progresses. Now, Monday night, we're still below freezing in the 20s, even some inland areas in the teens possible for Monday night as well. And eventually, as we go throughout the rest of this week, we will see a gradual warm up into next week. So pretty much into midweek next week. But as for this weekend, it is going to be some of the coldest temperatures of the season. So of course, make sure to dress appropriately, have a heavy coat, hat, layers, gloves, and scarf. We're taking a look at Whiteville with our Easy Pro Express First Alert Skycam, and you can actually see there's still some snow on the ground. We have gotten reports that northern Whiteville has seen close to an inch of snow already. So if you have reports of snow, please make sure to send them in, and we would love to see your snow photos on See It, Snap It, Send It. But I do want to go over the majority of what's going to happen for today. Snow chances will start to grow, especially into this afternoon. Around lunchtime, we could see that transition into more widespread snow showers. It's going to stay cold. The latest temperature, 30 degrees from the Wilmington Airport, feels like 18. So again, even though temperatures might be in the 30s, we're going to see those feels like values in the teens. Those wind gusts over 40 miles per hour possible for today and into tonight. And here's where we have lots of concerns surrounding travel, especially in those areas that do pick up heavier snowfall. If we see heavier snow bands mixed in and these gusty winds, again, talking about gusts of 40, 45 miles per hour, we could potentially see whiteout conditions. So that's why avoid traveling if you can. If you don't have to commute anywhere, just stay home, cuddle up with a blanket, because it is just going to be a wintry mess for tonight. And then tomorrow, a few flurries possible early on in the day, and then we'll see a gradual clearing as we head into tomorrow afternoon. Still going to be a cold and blustery Sunday. Now, our First Alert Weather Day program does continue into next week, Monday and Tuesday. Eventually, that gradual warm up for midweek, and then temperatures stay in the 40s and the 50s into your extended forecast. If you have any questions, make sure to send them in now. And Caitlin, do we have any questions?
Yes, so people are curious about when snow will start in Wilmington.
So that's a really good question, because right now we do have some snow flurries offshore. I'll drive back to the radar here, but I think really over the next few hours, I think lunchtime, and then especially this afternoon, so around 1, 2 o'clock, we could potentially see more of those widespread snow showers creeping in. This is just something that we're going to have to watch the radar throughout the day. We can see some of those snow flurries. This is pretty much on the border of New Hanover and Pender County. But once we go throughout today, we will see more widespread activity. Just make sure to check the radar, possibly around lunchtime, and then later on this afternoon for those snow showers to move into parts of Wilmington.
Another question asks, any updates on Brunswick County? What will Brunswick County be seeing?
So Brunswick County, pretty much same thing. We're looking at snowfall tallies of about 2 to 6 inches. I still think locally higher amounts are possible. So yes, areas could see more than 6 inches. It's just going to depend on where exactly that dry air mixes in here in the Cape Fear region. High resolution modeling, really not the best at picking up on that dry slot. That's what we call it, dry slotting, that dry air mixing in. But whenever we go throughout the rest of today, we should start to see more widespread showers. Not expecting too many deviations in the forecast between Wilmington and Brunswick County. I know our inland counties, they did see those snow flurries earlier this morning, and there's actually a possibility that those inland zones like parts of Bladen and Columbus counties could see less snowfall later on today just due to dry air mixing in. But again, still lots of uncertainty surrounding where exactly that dry air will be.
Somebody asked, what about pets in this weather?
Oh, make sure if you have outdoor pets, they need to have a warm place to be, or bring them inside. If you have a dog that has, a shorter coat, make sure they also have, a jacket or something with them if you are going to be taking them out and playing in the snow. I know for tomorrow, my dog, she loves the snow. But we have to be mindful because those temperatures are going to be very, very cold for especially the start of our Sunday. You feeling like the single digits near 0 degrees. Make sure your pets are also staying warm. Try to limit that time outdoors this weekend. And, also make sure to clean off any of that snow that may get on their fur as well.
What about refreezing? Is that a concern for tonight?
So tonight, the biggest concern will be snow falling, but as we go throughout the next several days, really just depending how much snowfall we do get from the system, yes, we have the potential to see a refreeze, especially if those snowfall tallies are going to be on the higher side. So if we're talking about snowfall tallies, several inches, if we're talking about that 5, 6, 7, even 8-inch mark, yes, we have concerns about refreezing because of those overnight lows staying below freezing for several nights. And we really need more sunshine and warmer temperatures during the day to help with any of that melting. Hopefully we get, less snowfall. But if we do see those higher amounts, a refreeze is a concern. Okay.
No more questions.
Okay. If you think of any more, we'll be happy to answer them. But I just want to go over a few things. Still looking at that big range of snow totals for this system, 2 to 6 inches, locally higher amounts possible. Yes, we do have the concern over a refreeze, especially as temperatures stay below freezing. Tomorrow, our highs are pretty much staying in the 30s. That extreme cold warning going into effect later on tonight. Earlier this morning, that winter storm warning went into effect. That's going to run until 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Very cold temperatures over the next several nights. So really, really make sure to remember the 4 Ps, people, pets, plants, and pipes. We are bundling up here, folks. You can still see the snow in Whiteville. And then for the rest of today, just those snow chances will be growing. And I do want to give you some tips on also how you can be prepared with this system. As we don't typically see snowfall here in southeastern North Carolina, even though we did see a system last year that did bring in some memorable snowfall. I just want to go over some of those tips because we just don't see this. We don't see this type of weather normally. Remember that steps, sidewalks, and walkways, they will be slick. So be careful if you're heading outside, when you're just out and about, if you're going to be playing in the snow, just make sure to use caution there. And because temperatures are going to be very, very cold, be mindful of your health. If you have any breathing issues, make sure to limit your time outdoors. And I know tomorrow, we're waking up to snowfall. This is exciting, especially for kids that have a snow day on Monday. A lot of people want to be out and play in the snow. However, make sure you are dressed appropriately for the weather. Those temperatures very, very cold. And whenever we talk about temperatures this cold, we have concerns over frostbite and hypothermia. So if you are going to be out in the snow, change the socks. Make sure that you are warming up. Maybe go into the car and warm up a little bit, or go into the house, have a cup of hot chocolate, and then head back outside and play in that snow. So again, try to limit your time outdoors, and also make sure if you are going to be outside playing in the snow to just bundle up. Also, if you haven't already, bring your car off the street if possible, so that way snowplows can get through. And before we really see the bulk of the snow, pull those windshield wipers up and make sure to clean off your car. And if you do have to be anywhere after the snow, make sure to shovel off or clean off the car with that snowfall. You don't want to be driving around and then you have all of these chunks of snow flying off. That is hazardous. Also, we don't typically have snow shovels here, so try a stiff bristle broom, and also be wary of salt on porous surfaces. That can actually cause some cracking, especially on concrete. So those are just some tips on how you can be prepared, and also just things to remember with this system.
One question asks of chances of any of the snow freezing into ice, and any power outages due to that. So
the chance for power outages, I would say today and tonight, would mainly be due to gusty winds. So we're talking about wind gusts of 40, 45, even higher wind gusts are possible. So if your house already flickers a little bit whenever it's windy outside, that can be of concern. I don't think we would see any concerns over a refreeze with any of those power lines, and that would cause any power issues. And then the refreeze potential, again, it's really just going to be whether or not we get those higher snowfall tallies, because I just want to show you just how cold it's expected to be over the next several days. We're in the teens for tonight, we're in the teens tomorrow night, we're in the 20s Monday night, and then lower 30s Tuesday night as well. So we could potentially see lingering effects through Tuesday, even into midweek, especially with those higher snow totals, maybe above 6 inches of snow. Those effects will be lingering, but again, the hope we get less snow, so that way those effects are going to be less. We're just going to have to watch it closely, especially as that snow really starts to pick up and we go throughout tonight. I know tomorrow morning it's going to be like Christmas Day. Everyone's waking up saying, oh my gosh, how much snowfall did we get? But we're also going to be thinking about those concerns as well with that potential for a refreeze, especially on days that temperatures aren't likely going to make it above freezing. At least we're in the 40s for Groundhog Day Monday, and then upper 40s for Tuesday. That should really help, especially if we get a lot of sun in for melting. And then Wednesday as well, we're in the middle 50s, so that will really start to help with any of that snow that's left over.
Those are all of our questions.
Perfect. All of the questions so far. Again, if you think of anything, you can always comment them down below, but we really do appreciate you joining this special live report on WECT.